No Vacancy Live, April 12th, 2022, coming to you from the AAHOA conference, day before it officially starts. Oh, it starts tonight. Ooh, can't wait to go. This is going to be something special.
I'm Anthony. Welcome to No Vacancy Live. That's my friend Glenn.
You're watching the #1 show in hospitality.
Hey there, hi there, ho there, everybody. Welcome to No Vacancy Live. This is Glenn Hausman. Anthony is going to be here, but apparently this really terrible situation is going on right now in New York City. He's stuck in some after effects of that, and he will try to be here as soon as we can. But, you know, today I'm really excited because we are at AAHOA 2022, and as you guys know, we're the official podcast of AAHOA 2022, and we're going to be in the big trade show tomorrow and the day after. We're going to have a lot of great interviews, and it's going to be a lot of fun. But on the eve of the conference starting, which begins tonight with a great cocktail hour, and I can't wait to kick back and have some of those, we've got our friends over at AAHOA, the chairman, Vinay Patel, and incoming chairman, Neal Patel. Gentlemen, so great to see you guys.
Nice seeing you.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Yeah, this is fun. So I'm trying something a little different. I got one camera on the two of you guys. I want to try experimenting a little bit. So I'm excited you're playing along. So how are you feeling as we are getting set to go? Vinay, I'm going to have you answer that first since you're outgoing chairman.
Sure. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling excited. It should be a great, fun couple of days upcoming in Baltimore. We've got a huge crowd attending this conference here, so we're looking forward to it. And I'm also looking forward from the older Sky to one of our younger officer here to passing the torch down for the future of AAHOA.
Yeah, that's pretty exciting for both of you. Number one, Vinay, you've been putting so much work into it, particularly since you are chairman, interim CEO, have a business to run, and have a family as well. So, dude, I give you a lot of props for keeping it together over these long few months over here. How do you do it?
Well, the bags under my eyes, results of the last 8 months here.
Dude, Vinay, that's why I wear glasses. You can't see the bags under my bags here, you know?
It's been a very fun and interesting 8 months.
Yeah.
I've learned a lot. And the thing is that the reason I think I've been able to go through this whole process and even come out where I'm at right now is because of the incredible teamwork that we have. You know, when you talk about the AAHOA team staff members in Atlanta and in DC, really kind of keep things together while I'm kind of an interim guy who's just kind of helping them sort through the process. And more importantly, the support of our board and our officer group, over the last 8 months, they understand how difficult this whole role is. And they've really supported me along the way to make sure that we kind of do it in the right way for the association.
So, Neal, how are you feeling on the eve of becoming chairman here?
Glenn, I have an array of emotions.
I bet.
Nervous for sure.
Oh, for sure.
But I'm excited. I'm excited because of the challenge. I see this as a challenge. And I'm excited to lead the world's largest association, Hotel Owners Association. And I have big shoes to fill with Vinay. Not only was he our chair, he was our president, CEO, family, and there's no way that I could even come close to that. So I'm very thankful for Vinay's continued leadership and dedication towards the association.
Well, that's very nice of you to say. But before you get into the end, you got to give yourself a little credit too. There, you're gonna do absolutely terrific, Neal. Please continue.
Yes. Yes. Look, innovations, technology, that's what I want to focus on.
Right. That makes a whole lot of sense to me because that's really where we're at. But we're also kind of at this weird crossroads now. And before we get into what we've accomplished, where we're going to, let's set the stage here for the event. You have 5,200 people registered already. Seems to be the largest trade show so far. 726, did you say, booths sold?
Yep.
Wow. Yep. That's impressive that I remembered it, the number 2, but that I remember, but that I remember that. So, it must feel really good that this event didn't have to change 45 times going into it, right, Neal?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, it was challenging to plan a convention, especially right now with COVID and with the new strain. About 2 months ago, we didn't even know if we were going to have the convention here. And it wasn't because of the challenges that we're facing, but it was because of the challenges that are given to us by the city, the state, and COVID especially. And I think our team back in Atlanta, they did a tremendous job, absolutely magnificent. They were on it every single day. And look, it wasn't easy. to plan a convention of this magnitude.
Right.
Who would have thought we would have 5,200 attendees at this conference?
Which I think will go up to 6,000 because you folks have the most just show up people I've ever seen at an event.
Yep. So we're excited.
Yeah.
We had to pivot a lot. I mean, with any convention, especially this one during COVID, pivoting was a challenge, but we overcame it. And we had the support of our board, and more importantly, the support of our team. And you see the members who are out here supporting us.
Yeah.
And when we were planning this convention, we were thinking we'll get about 3,500 to 4,000 attendees. But today, to see the numbers as of last week to be 5,200, we never expected that.
No, and when you're thinking of 4,000, poor Akshar and the team were planning for fewer people, but it's a good problem to have, right? And Vinay, I'm kind of feeling once the mandates really started to drop on the state level with masks and stuff like that, it's kind of ignited the passion again for people to get out there in a more meaningful way. I'm thinking we're about 6 days away from mass transit being the mask mandates being removed from there, because I haven't heard anything about extensions yet. And I think it's probably a big political no-no for the party in charge in the White House right now to go do that. Do you think that is going to happen? And if so, do you think that's going to really set off another level of people wanting to get back out there and travel to your constituents' hotels?
Yeah, I mean, look, obviously we don't know what's going to happen. We'll obviously try and keep our fingers crossed. But I think that people are excited. People are wanting to get out. Just obviously you can see the attendance at our conference. And just one more fact from this week, from today, I just got a call from Akshar this morning, who handles all of our convention. And so we had to up our food count for this evening's reception.
Wow.
So that, when you talk about making me feel good, that felt really good that, hey, look, that sounds a great problem to have. Going back to what you were saying in terms of what expectation in terms of mask mandates and all that, I think that's going to be a huge resurgence for people wanting to get out there. I think the fall or the summer and the fall will be great. And it's a great time for us as an industry to really kind of take advantage of what's out there and just make sure that we kind of deliver the services to our customers as best as we can right now, especially given the labor issues that we have.
Right. Now, this would be a great segue for me to start getting to the to where we're headed to and how you're going to leverage opportunity that's out there. But Vinay, I want to just sum up with all that you've accomplished. It's such a difficult time having to pull everybody together and make sure all of these things happen. What are you going to look back on 5 years from now when you're lying in bed and go, I'm glad I did that?
You know, one of the things for me personally, I look back at the last 8 months. I mean, obviously, as you know, my term was only 8 months, but more importantly, as soon as our term was there, we hired a brand new CEO.
Yeah, it was 8 months, but it was actually 16 months in what was going on in your head, right? It was so much to do.
Yeah, and so I think that, and especially when you have a brand new CEO, when he had just come on board, and we're obviously going through the staff changes as we're trying to set up for us as success. And then obviously in January, he had an opportunity that he could not pass up, so he moved over there. So here we're like, what the heck? But at the end of the day, I think the biggest thing that I look back and say, hey, at least everything was stable. We're here. The association is still strong. And I think the reason it is the fundamentals of this association are still very, very strong. And that's what kind of gets us going every single day. And so when I look back, I mean, there's a lot of accomplishments in terms of, this year we started online voting. We focused our attention on some of the franchising issues that we have right here. Despite all the transitions we've had at our staff, transitions in our associations. So I think for me, looking back, as long as I kept it together and kept the stability there is what makes me the most proudest in terms of looking back here.
Yeah, and you should feel really proud because you had so many unprecedented challenges going into this. So Neal, let me throw it to you. You're going to be here. You're entering as a chairperson right now, or chairman in your particular case, although I don't know how you identify. You might be, who knows? I don't know. But I'm curious as to what are you most excited about when it comes to taking over as chairman this year?
Look, I'm excited for the membership.
Mm-hmm.
And to give you a perfect example, to summarize this year that we've had critics. Every association has critics. And recently, they went all over social media commending the leadership that Vinay has shown this year. When it comes to fair franchising, online voting, listening to the membership. And now what we've done is turn those critics into ambassadors for us, where they're going out selling AAHOA on social media.
Right.
And I think there is no better achievement for us than that. And I think Vinay has done a great job as a chair, but even better job as a president and CEO, because he had to not only keep up with the board, but also the team that we have in Atlanta and DC. And I think Vinay is the perfect person for it, because there is not a single person that dislikes him. That's just his personality.
Right.
And
I know. Yeah, Vinay, you are freakishly likable.
yes.
Yeah. You ask my wife that.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But Glenn,
Yeah.
I'm excited about the
Yeah.
technology
Yeah.
innovations,
So let me
especially right now.
Yeah, let me tee it up to you. All right. So, technology and innovation, we're all at the cusp of major change here in the hospitality industry, right, Neal? And just so you know, Neal's over there, I'm over here. So, we're kind of looking at each other. So, what I'm seeing right now is a great opportunity to make real, meaningful change. But I'm also coming at you with all this gray hair because I've been in the business for 25 years. And I feel as if I've heard the same conversation over and over and over and over again. Why will this time be different? And how will AAHOA make sure that we could actually push forward with technology that's good for owners, that the brands can approve of, and you could all get together on the same page here? Because if not, I'm really afraid of losing market share to all of those other up and coming industries.
Then back home, now they wanted the same exact things that the hotel had back at home.
Right.
Now it's completely opposite. Now, when a guest checks in a hotel, they want the same exact thing they have back home,
right,
in the hotel rooms. And I'm sorry to say, but we failed to adapt to new technology. And I think because of COVID-19, it excelled it. Where now we're implementing technology, not because we're falling behind, but I think because of COVID, we had to implement technology. Contactless check-in, QR codes, that technology was already there. It was never implemented. But because of COVID-19, we are implementing it. And
yeah, COVID's biggest winner, by the way, QR codes, because I thought those were going away,
yes,
right?
Exactly. Because 5 years ago, everyone forgot about them. And now every single place that they have a QR code, even in AAHOA, we have QR codes. And I'll give you a personal example.
Yeah, please.
2019, AAHOA did a survey, and 91% of hotels had job openings. And because of COVID.
Right. Let me just throw out some statistics for you, Neal. At that time, I was talking to Chip Rogers, who was a former president and CEO here at AAHOA before moving on to AHLA. There were over 1 million job openings then.
Yep.
I can't imagine what that number is right now, Neal.
I think it's 100% of hotels are hiring right now. And it got so bad for us that we had to shut down our night shift.
Right.
And our guests were suffering. And they shouldn't have to suffer because of our lack of finding good team members. And for us, it wasn't that we weren't paying enough. We were paying above market average, yet we're unable to find team members to work for us. I think that's when technology came into play.
Right.
We partnered with a kiosk company where you walk in and there's a kiosk at the hotel, and they connect you with someone who's out of country. And it's just like you're talking to a real person, because they are a real person.
Because they are a real person.
Yeah, exactly. So it's exactly like how we are talking right now. You can pay cash. They'll give you change.
Right.
You can even pay credit cards, and it'll give you the room key.
All right. Hold on one second, because joining us right now, Anthony Melchiori is out of traffic and back at his home studio. Anthony, welcome.
What's up, fellas? Long time no see.
Yes, sir.
So, Anthony, let me just bring you up to speed. Neal is talking about technology, and he just introduced this great new technology that they have at one of their hotels. It's a kiosk, but it's a little bit different because there's a human being's face in another part of the world that can communicate with you. Neal, please take it away.
It's not my face or your face?
No, they want to be guest friendly.
Yes. And we also want to save on the bottom line.
Are you guys in the same room?
Yeah, we're all in the same room. That's right over there. So go on, Neal.
So Glenn, for us, it wasn't about saving money.
Yeah.
It was about giving the guest what they want. Is an actual person that can assist them 24/7.
Right.
And we're not eliminating any jobs, but we simply couldn't find them at the time. And we're paying $15 to $17 an hour to get these team members, and the machine is costing me less than $8 an hour. Think about it, less than $8 an hour.
Right. And now, Anthony, he also said that the individual could be in India, and the company that they're working with takes a couple of dollars, but they're still getting triple the traditional wage there. So it's a great win-win to help the guests here in the United States while helping improve the life of people in India too.
So the person is actually, it's a live person that you're talking to.
Exactly.
And they can do everything that the desk clerk can do.
Yep.
How do you get the key?
The machine gives it to them. It's an RFID key. And
I think that's the future. I think you guys just nailed it. It's the first time I'm hearing this.
Yeah, I only heard about it an hour ago. It's amazing.
And I mean, this is it. And listen, 5 years ago, I'd say, well, kind of, it's all right. Let's pay the worker the right pay and let's have somebody there. And it's, it's not cool to do it that way, right? Now it's like not only cool, if you don't do it, we're all going out of business.
Absolutely.
Right. So the lights just went off over here.
I said out of business, and all of a sudden the lights went out.
I'm gonna go turn it back on. You guys talk.
No, but it's like it's such a needed thing because you can't find employees. They don't want to work, and a lot of people don't want to work. And I think that you may have done something here. So how many hotels is it in right now?
So right now we're just testing it in one of our hotels, and the company that we partnered with, I think we have about 20 hotels that actually have the kiosk up and working at the hotels.
And how do the brands feel about it?
The brands are also excited about it, honestly, because this is something that every hotel is facing. Every hotelier is facing labor challenges, and this is something that can help them. And plus, they're at their desk. They're looking at best practices when they check someone in. So they're going by the book when they check someone in. And I think they may be doing a better job than someone who is brand new at a hotel. And look, I'm not saying we're eliminating those jobs. When we can get the team members back, now they'll be acting more as a concierge to the guest.
Good.
And helping them with the needs that they have, whether it's restaurant recommendation or whether it's planning something out. I think that's what my team members should be doing, is connecting with the guest versus, oh, you owe me $50, $100, and here's your room key.
Right.
Thank you. Have a great night.
So what you're really talking about, Neal, is something that we've been talking about here since Anthony and I started podcasting the other 4 years ago, is turning the transactional into the experiential, right?
Absolutely.
It's a real waste of money to have people just go this. That doesn't mean anything to the guest experience. So Vinay, taking some of these ideas that you're seeing out there, how do you think about improving the guest experience at your hotels via technology at a lower cost because you don't need as many people there?
Neal just mentioned it.
Yeah. I'm looking for another thing today.
But look, at the end of the day, I think you talk about this particular technology, and I know technology sometimes feels cold,
right?
And it's just not as impersonal. But I think this new idea that they've come up with makes it a lot more personal. You're able to communicate. You're able to see the emotions on each other's face when you see a live person there. So I think that's really a good way to kind of blend it together. But one of the things that's coming out of the pandemic is that all of us have learned to do a lot more things with technology. I mean, who would have ever adapted saying, hey, look, the QR codes or this thing here, and the labor issues have really made things even worse. And so I think that we're learning different ways to adapt technology probably quicker. I think this may have taken years for it to come to fruition now just because of the technology issues.
Would you ever thought that somebody would pay the rates that they're paying and not get housekeeping services every day? I mean, we wouldn't have done that 2 years ago. We just talked about this yesterday or the other day on the podcast. It was like, this is all going away.
Yeah, it feels like every day we talk about it.
I said the front desk is going away. We're not going to have people at the front desk, however the technology is going to be. It's all going to happen. And you just kind of proved our point by doing this, because this is a great way. And why haven't we been doing it this way?
Absolutely.
As long as you're nice and as long as you know what you're doing and as long as I get my key, I don't give a damn if you're on a computer, if you're behind the front desk, because you can be just as nice and probably more nicer because more nice, my Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Nicer because you're not in the fray. Yes. We all know, like, unless you're running a hotel, you can train all you want, but when you're in the fray, it's like, you can train to be, not to compare the front desk to a war, but sometimes it's very intense. You can train to be in war, but once you're in there and you have 50 people checking in, everybody yelling at you, So if you have this, and again, like you said, it's not replacing employees, but right now you have no choice. Now it's okay to do things like this, whereas before it wasn't okay to do this.
Yep. And Anthony and Glenn, I think the biggest challenge was change is hard to implement. And our guests, they hated it the first month, but then they were okay with it, and now they love it. And I think that's the cycle of change. And
it is.
Honestly, the guests don't know what they want until you give it to them.
Right.
And
what did Henry Ford say? Henry Ford said, if I ask my guests what they want, they'd want faster horses.
Right.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. So I think, look, we have to pivot. The industry has to pivot. We fell behind years ago. And I'm not blaming any brands or anything like that. But when they implement technology, it takes them about 2 years for every hotel to implement. And by the time the last hotel implements that technology, there's already a new one that's better, faster, and cheaper, and more friendly.
Is there anybody else doing this besides you guys?
There's about 20 hotels that have the kiosk. But
out
I'm
of
not
what,
sure.
47,000 here in the United States? Yeah.
Exactly. And
now this is something you own. This is your company?
No. This is someone that we were working with.
Oh, got it.
Yeah. It's a family friend that
family
owns the company.
Well, to be fair, everybody's a family friend in the AAHOA community.
True. Absolutely. Yeah.
Or a cousin.
Yes.
I'm sorry, gentlemen. I'm just noticing this, but did Glenn get a haircut?
2 weeks ago.
It looks good.
Why, did you brush it this morning? It looks so good.
Thank you. As a matter of fact, I did.
Are you blushing? You're blushing.
I wanted to look good for Vinay and Neal. Come on.
All right,
Got a lot going on over here.
So how is the conference going? I'm sorry I couldn't be there. I'm going.
It starts really later today.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, so everybody's just getting here and stuff, which is really nice. I went down to where the trade show is going to be, and we were talking about how it's maybe the largest one ever. It is immense, and it's so much fun watching everybody set up the 700 plus booths that are going to be there.
Don't yell at me, Glenn, but I'm going to ask real quick. Is COVID creeping in yet, like masks and stuff, or no? All right.
Not yet.
No.
Not yet. It's been okay so far. By the way, we've got almost 5,200 people. We have 5,200 people already registered for the conference. We're expecting a huge turnout here at the conference here, so it should be fun.
That's
how many people are you expecting?
5,200.
Oh my God!
It's going to be more than that, Anthony. I'm mark my words. It's going to hit 6,000. That's my guess.
Really? You know what?
For 4,000 initially, 3,500 to 4,000, and now when we saw the numbers yesterday, the actual numbers, over 5,200 attendees.
Well, I think it's going to be 6,000 because I have it right here. Glenn knows everything, and I
Yes.
Oh, you got my email. I'm glad that you read it.
No, I'm actually a little jealous. I can't be there because I'm going somewhere today, but I'm a little jealous. Like I would love to be there. I haven't seen you guys. I haven't been around AAHOA in a while.
Yep.
Yeah, it's been a
I think it was August when at the Dallas event was the last time you saw.
I don't get invited anymore.
Yeah. I think you were invited,
Yes.
but you got this other important thing going on in your life tomorrow. So anyway, Vinay, what I'm worried about when it comes to all this technology, I think the Achilles heel of the industry, and we haven't really addressed it, is that there seems to be an incredible disconnect between how people run and operate and do the branding of the hotels versus how those same human beings experience and want to experience hotels, right? Just one example that I could go to is, why can't the design community figure out how to get a desk chair sometimes the right height for the desk, right? If you can't do that right, and can't see it as a guest, then how are we going to actually get forward on this technology part of it? How do you plan to combat that, to get people to say, hey, you got to think about how you want to use it and implement technologies you want to use?
Look, I'm using my chair. I can go small, I can go big.
Well, to be fair, those chairs can be awfully expensive. So sometimes you get one height. Well, Vinay, any thoughts on how to try to get people to think differently about technology?
Yeah. Well, the thing is, the technology and a lot of things is not only just technology. Whoever does it, they've got to make it easy.
Right.
Look, if it's not easy, and especially with me, I'm an older guy these days. For me to adapt to new technology is very, very difficult, very challenging. And so you really have to make it easy for me to use it and make sure I can adapt to it. So I think that's a key thing here. And the other part is that all of these companies, it's always one of those things where if you have a great idea and if you execute poorly, that great idea could be negative. If you have a bad idea, and if you execute it really, really well, it could be something that is a game changer. So I think at the end of the day, how we execute some of these things that we implement is probably one of the biggest things in terms of a factor of a success or a failure.
And I think
Neal?
when one thing that Vinay is really good at is communication. So when it comes to things like this, I think that hotel owners need to be in those conversations when a new product is being designed. And I think a lot of companies surprisingly miss that. If you're designing something for a hotel, why not include few hotel owners who can give you perspective, who are doing this every single day? I think it will be so much better.
I think it would be.
I've thrown out more than dozens of people out of my office over the years when they introduce a technology, whether a property management system, POS system, a reservation, whatever it is. And my first question is, who developed this? Well, my tech people. Are they in the hotel business? No. I'm done.
Absolutely.
I'm done, because the things that we deal with that they don't realize are the intricacies that you cannot, you can be a genius, you can come at MIT as valedictorian, but you cannot plan for a lot of things that we know, right?
Absolutely.
It's like a pickup room. You ask an MIT guy, how do you deal with pickup rooms? What's a pickup room?
Exactly.
I agree with you. I was a test pilot hotel for one of our hotel brands where we were implementing a new PMS system. So when you look at the arrivals report on this particular PMS system, it only had the confirmation numbers on it, and then the date and the time and whatever. So I'm like, well, wait a second. You'd have to have the name on it too, right? I mean, you can look at it by the confirmation. I go, yeah, but you have to have the name. I mean, the name has to be there.
Well, they should have been able to pick that one up on themselves.
Again, just like you said, some MIT guys probably doing some research on the technology side.
Right.
Here's you got everything.
Yep.
But simple stuff like that.
My favorite question, and you're bringing back a lot of memories. My favorite question is, oh, you guys need that? You guys need that? Oh, you guys need that? You have a checkout with cash balance? What's that? Do you have an adjustment? No, we have a correction. Well, I need adjustments and corrections. How about a paid out tab? You have what's a paid out?
Yeah.
Wow, I suddenly feel like I know nothing about the hotel business. Thank you for schooling.
Listen, they know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, no, they definitely do. Well, one thing I'd like to see, Neal, is I'm hearing from the brands whenever they introduce that new prototype, and I sit through those interviews. They're like, and we talk to our ownership groups.
Yep.
How about the customers? They know who the top customers are. Mm-hmm. They do that at the airlines when they're designing new seats and stuff like that. They bring them in, they make them feel good. Why not just bring in some customers and say, hey, what would you do differently?
I absolutely agree with you. I think when a new brand is being designed or developed, I think they need to include not only the owners, but also the consumers that are going to be using that product. I think that's where we can make a difference. I think a perfect product would be consumer friendly, owner friendly, and of course brand friendly, where it's supposed to be a win-win-win situation for all. And I don't think a perfect product exists today where everyone is happy about it, because sometimes the cost may be too high, or sometimes the guests may not like something, or the owners may not like something, or the brands may not like something.
You said something. The owners may think the cost is too high. Owners always think the cost is too high.
Yes.
Okay. It could be a penny and they think it's too high. So that's also a problem, because I think it's changed going from, the older generation that started buying hotels to the younger generation, that it used to be, if you spent a penny, you got to make 3 pennies. Now people are saying, well, listen, we've got to do this so we can increase the average rate, but show it to me. Well, I can't show it to you. I can just tell you my competition's doing it. And if we continue to do what we're doing, we're going to lose out of the competition. Well, you can't quantify that. How do you show it to me? Well, I can't.
Yep.
So everyone's starting to learn the business where you don't have to have those conversations much. However, we still have a very bad reputation among purveyors that we are the cheapest people in America, the hotel owners, and all hotel owners from all different places. I don't care if you're the biggest companies in this business. I don't care if you're Tishman. I don't care who you are. You are always questioning pennies.
Well,
how do we get over that stigma? Because I think sometimes it's held us back.
Yeah, Vinay?
Yeah. So, the thing is that I think it's a negative stigma. Negative in the sense it's a false stigma as well, right? You're always going to have a certain percentage that can be like that. And so we just need to highlight the people that are doing it. And so I'll give you a simple example. I mean, when we talk about on brands, and I'm on a couple of FACs, and you just talk to some of the brands, say, well,
that's a franchise advisory council. People that don't know.
Sorry. Yeah. And so when you talk to the brands, and when I talk to them, I'm like, hey, look, some of the hotel owners are going above and beyond what the minimum requirements are. And so nobody highlights that, but they're going to talk about the guy who's going to want to go below the cheapest thing. And I think most hotel owners are intelligent, smart people, almost every hotel, and they're looking for return on investment, right? And if you're going to put $1 or whatever, you want an ROI on it. And so maybe that's an older person like myself thinking in the old fashioned way, but I think everybody wants a good ROI on what they're putting the money down on.
No, and I think you're 100% right. And I think that's one of the reasons I said that is because it's definitely changed. And I think that people in our industry are getting a better reputation because there is a lot of added value. And everybody wants to return investment. But there was a period of time where we went way too long for a PIP. And until the brands, and I don't want to name the one brand, but I think there was one brand that was a catalyst to the PIP. And we all know who it is. They went in, 15 years ago, and they were like 268, hotels immediately got the boot. And they took a hit on fees and they took a hit on everything. And everybody thought they were crazy, and then everybody followed suit. So it was a good thing. And now I think everybody realizes a PIP only hurts your bottom line. I just had somebody, I won't tell you who, but from a pretty nice hotel was arguing or disagreeing with ownership about, it was about $100,000 worth of product that they needed. And I don't want to say too much because I know they listen and I don't want to out them, and he was like, listen, you need it or you just close the hotel. Like, you have to do this. So I think there's a difference between the return on investment and someone that's just trying to, I think put us backwards. And I think having a PIP, but I also think there's amenity, what do they call it? Amenity
Creep.
Amenity creep is a real thing. And I think the pandemic kind of help put an end to that. Are you seeing
particularly with the breakfast scenario?
Absolutely.
But before
it's everywhere.
But before we start tackling those issues, Jennifer McGregor's got a quick question. What's the name of that kiosk company? She wants to learn more.
On kiosk.
On kiosk.
Con. C-O-N.
Okay,
kiosk.
Con kiosk. All right, excellent. Let's get on to reevaluating what we need with amenity creep.
Are you still seeing the amenity creep, or are brands kind of taking a step back?
Yeah,
I think what I've seen is that brands are more intuitive what's going on right now, right? And so I think that they're working with ownership in terms of the breakfast. When you look at some of the breakfast, they're going to increase it. They're going to have certain things. Does it ever go completely away? Probably not. But I think that they're working with process with us and saying, hey, look, we understand the role that you're in. And not all hotels are back to par right now. Business travel is still down overall. So I think that not every segment is back up to par. So I think that they're all working together in terms of keeping it contained is the best way to put it.
Yeah, I hope we could get it contained. And I forgot who our guest was, but he was saying at their breakfast, they had 42 separate items. That was a week or two ago. We were talking to someone about that. That's an awful lot of items. Certainly, McDonald's doesn't have that many items for breakfast, for example, right?
Yeah, they have as many items as a Greek diner in New York.
But I think one of the things with these amenity creep that we're talking about is that I think the consumers are also slowly becoming used to not having a lot. So we just talked about earlier that, hey, the bars closed it earlier, or instead of 5 restaurants, you only have 2 restaurants. You're not getting a room service. So the consumers, as of right now, and I don't know how long it'll last, but at least for now, they feel like they're accepting of the fact that they're not getting a lot more compared to what they used to get back after the pandemic.
I would say 6 months when the pandemic is officially over, in our general agreement of that's when people are going to start to get crabby again.
Well, I will tell you, I talk to a lot of people who are traveling. Everybody's crabby. Everybody wants it back. I mean, and again, I travel just as much as everybody, and I need a water and I need food and get out of my way. So even if it's I don't care if it's access to a gift shop and I can get a microwavable meal, I just need something. And I need maybe the bar open in the bigger hotels till 11, 12 o'clock at night because I'm with a team or something. I'd like to have a drink with them before, we all dissipate and go back to our rooms. So I think I already see it. Everybody, like, it seems that I'm everybody calls me. And if I show you my DMs from my fan base,
right,
every single day, I mean, I'm not talking about one. I'm talking about 20. I get 20 DMs a day on depending on which device of Anthony. Did you know that now they're not cleaning rooms? Do you know I can't get room service? Do you know that I can't? Do you know I get it every single day? Matter of fact, one day we should do a show just reading my DMs.
That's a great idea. We got an Ask Anthony and Glenn show next week, as a matter of fact, Anthony.
Right,
so
we'll do that.
yeah, that'll be perfect. Yes, gentlemen.
So I think we're there. Personally, I think we need to start really. Listen, we have to worry about the bottom line, but we also have to understand that people are there, and they're not paying. You know, in a lot of markets, they're paying what they paid in 2019 and more.
So, Anthony, to your point about the F&B, obviously labor shortage has been a challenge for room service and so on. So right now we're looking at to partner with a company that has a vending machine for pizza, cinnamon rolls, and the list goes on. It basically has a commercial grade microwave oven, and it takes about 2 to 3 minutes for you to get it. They have chicken wings as well, by the way. I forgot to mention that. And
I like that.
It's about $7 to $10, and they do a revenue share with the hotel. So it's a win-win situation for us.
Okay, so you're reading my mind because I have a friend. He's an actor in Hollywood, and he sends
pizza.
He sends me text messages every day and emails every day saying we got to put these pizza vending machines in all the hotels.
Yep.
And I'm like, I understand that, but like you have to have your own because you have a company, then you have the hotel that wants a revenue share. Like there's not a lot of money in this if you're a third party. So he literally, I'm going to see him in a couple of weeks, and I know the first question he's going to ask me is, "Where are we with this?" I'm trying to find it. Where are we with this concept? And I just haven't had time to work on it. But here.
Yep.
Let me put you on a one shot. Oh yeah, cool.
Yeah. So the company we're partnering with is something similar. They're actually downstairs at the trade show floor.
Cool.
And it's a win-win situation.
So let me ask you this: why do that as opposed to try to create a meaningful relationship with a Grubhub or some entity like that? Because I remember back in the day. I know Anthony, you're shaking your head no, but I remember back in the day, it's like, hey, can I get the Chinese food menu or the pizza menu? And I would get delivery at a select service or a focus service hotel, for example.
You give me a hot pizza that's good in the middle of the night, and I'm your best friend.
Yep.
Oh yeah, exactly. Totally. And now, you that's a great argument right there because if it's after like 11 o'clock and everything's closed, right? Yeah.
But Glenn, to give you a personal example, last week or 2 weeks ago in Atlanta, we were at the conference all day, and when I left from the conference to go back to my room, I'm like, let me order some food. It said about 65 minutes.
Right.
So I was like, okay, I'll wait for my food.
Oh boy.
I went to my room, sat on the bed,
fell asleep,
watching TV. I woke up and I started going downstairs. I grabbed my phone. It was 6:30 in the morning. Oops. And the food was sitting there all night. Yeah. So that's the perfect example from what Anthony's saying. This takes 3 minutes. I'll just go down there, grab the food, and eat it.
Right.
We've all had that experience, and I think it's catching up to these delivery services for hotels. Yes. And I think that this is the option. This is what's needed.
Well,
absolutely.
Once Hilton started to take full service out of the Hilton New York, I guess that was about 7-8 years ago or something like that, right? And they went to a full quick serve kind of idea, the market concept. I like that better. Anyway.
If you want a history lesson on why they took room service out of Hilton, we can do a whole show on that.
Because I suppose room service was just costing them a nope. All right, let's do a show on it.
There was a lot of issues, but I don't think I can do a show on it. I think
no, and we're running out of time with these guys anyway because it turns out there's a massive conference that they've got to go run over here. So let's start to bring the conversation over. Is there anything that we did not talk about that you guys want to get out?
No, I mean, look, I think one of the things that we're all excited about the industry, looking forward to the industry getting back to on its feet. We got to get corporate travel back, and I think it's slowly coming back. And so I think we're all in the right direction here. And so, and AAHOA, and not AAHOA, all hoteliers are inherently have got short-term memories. So we know we went through a lot of turmoil over the last 24 months, but I think we forget quickly and get back to the developing and get back to the building and buying and transacting. So I think those are the things that we're looking forward to.
Yeah, but I also want to make sure that we state this because a lot of people don't know AAHOA and what they do. I was on stage. Where was I when we did the
in Dallas
Yes.
when you rolled out the statistics?
And I talked about, you guys invited me, and I'm glad you did, and to talk about the statistics and just the widespread ability of AAHOA to get the message out and to lobby and to help not only push brands but push government. And what you've done for hotels around the world, around the country, I don't think you guys get enough credit. If you look at from how much taxes the AAHOA community pays, to how many employees they have, to just on and on, those numbers were mind-boggling. Of just the vast majority of what you guys do is exceptional.
Yeah, one thing I would want to add to that is that, and people talk about the association back and forth or this or that, positive, negatives. But at the end of the day, I think this industry needs an AAHOA, right? I mean, you need that
100%.
And so you need that. I think the industry needs an AAHOA. So we're proud that we're part of AAHOA and looking forward to the future of this association.
Listen, you need that in a union setting, right? The union always said, well, we need to make the playing field even.
Mhm.
So we're going to have delegates, and we're going to make so the manager and the delegate kind of on the same level. I think AAHOA does that for the brands. It's like, you guys are on the same level. It's like, yeah, you can be our brand and you can put your name on our hotel, but it's our hotel, and you're going to listen to what we have to say, and amenity creep or whatever it is, you're going to pay attention to us.
Yep.
And before AAHOA, that didn't exist. And I think hotels, it's hard to check into a bad hotel today because I think in large part because of AAHOA.
Right. And I mean, that all started, I recall, back in the 1990s, late 1990s, with the 12 points of fair franchising, which is making its big comeback. And I'm going to be working with these guys to help bring some of those points out. And we're going to have them back here on the show to talk more about those as well and try to bring more equity between the owners and the brands there. Anthony,
Absolutely.
should be a lot of fun. Gentlemen, any final thoughts before we wrap up with you?
Yeah, so Glenn, we have 20,000 members. 60% of all hotels in the nation are owned by our membership.
Amazing.
And the GDP contributions, $364 billion.
Woo.
That's more than the entire country of South Africa. So just think about that for a second.
Wow.
So when we implement a change or when we push for something, you have to think about the 34,000 hotels that our members own throughout the nation. And how is it going to impact each one of them? Because 1 out of every 2 hotels is owned by our membership.
And there's only 55,000 hotels in America, right? Something
Yeah.
like that.
Yep. And out of those, 34,000, I believe, are owned by the membership.
Right. And it's not I also want to say this it's not your grandpa's AAHOA.
Yep.
It's you're in not only the limited service, AAHOA is now the biggest developer of 4 and 5 star hotels.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. So when we look at the data, when it comes to economy or independent, AAHOA members own about 65 to 70%. But what's more interesting is when it comes to luxury segment, our membership owns 40% of all luxury properties in the nation. And all of us.
Wait, hold on. Did you say 40% of luxury properties?
40%. Yes, sir.
I actually said
That is
on
astounding.
Yes,
I would
absolutely.
have guessed 15, 20.
Yep.
That's amazing.
No, I would have guessed less than that, and that's why I thought it was important to say this, because
Yes.
when I was growing up in the industry, AAHOA wasn't that important, and when AAHOA was more the limited service, and I didn't really understand what it was. And now it's like AAHOA. I mean, it's not only from the Indian community; it's every community. AAHOA represents everyone, and I think it's really important. It's like I said, it's not your grandfather's AAHOA anymore. It's a different mindset. And if you ignore AAHOA membership, if you're a brand, you're not going to be a brand for too long.
I was at a JW Marriott in Anaheim for a conference a few weeks ago, as a matter of the Click conference, and the owner of that hotel is a Patel. I didn't realize that they were there, and I'm like, oh, JW Marriott in Anaheim, yeah. So it's amazing and stuff, and so
yeah. As a matter of fact, I did a panel. I hosted that panel where they were on.
Right.
That was great, gentlemen. Congratulations! It's great to see us here on a date that it was originally scheduled for. I hope you have a lot of success, and I really look forward to being a part of this as the official podcast of AAHOACon. Sorry, Anthony, you're not down here with us, but we're going to be broadcasting from our studio the next 2 days.
Are we going to be promoting everybody else's podcast too? I hope.
Everybody else's? No. No.
That's an inside. That's an inside.
It is not a situation like that. Fortunately, we will be promoting Red Roof then, since they sponsored the booth.
That's great.
So thank you to George Limbert, Matt Hostetler, and the team at Red Roof. Gentlemen, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Really
having
appreciate it.
Yes,
Have a good one. All right, Anthony, I got to get going too. So let's just wrap this right up. If you want to get an audio version of the podcast, go to Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, all of those kind of places. He's at Anthony Hotels. I'm at Traveling Glenn.
And I'm going to my other office, the Delta Sky Lounge at JFK.
Great. Well, have a good time. And if you were there in the morning, I'd say to get some of those awesome sausages that they have there in the morning. But in the meantime, remember, you've got one life, so blaze on and
Be kind to yourself.
see y'all later.